Bright QT. Every student matters.
Now let's look at some of the essential features of the maps. What are the essential features of the maps? Like direction, scale, signs and symbols. These are essential features. So there are three main components or essential features of a map. They are direction, distance or scale, and symbols. Okay. So maps, when you look at a map, you'll always find mention of longitude, latitude of the area. At the end of the frame or the page, you'll see on each side, east, west, north, south, there is latitude and longitude mentioned. And you also see mention of direction, north, south, east, west. That is also mentioned. And you also see the distance that the map represents. Okay, and you also find conventional signs and symbols. Now let's look at these components one by one. The first one is direction. Now the direction is the most important component of a map. It's useful. Why? Because with direction, with the help of direction, we know the direction of a place in comparison to another. Okay, so we see the map of a park and we can say, oh, to the north is a big banyan tree, and to the south of the banyan tree there is a small pond. So in relation to the banyan tree, we can understand the direction of the pond. Okay. Now there are four major directions which are north, south, east, west. These are called cardinal directions. Okay, they're very important directions. Now apart from these, in between there are other directions as well, like northeast direction between the north and east, southeast direction between the south and east, southwest direction and northwest direction. These are called intermediate directions because they're in between the cardinal directions. Now we can find directions by using simple tools. What are these? Okay, because finding the direction is very important in order to know where you're located, where a certain thing is located, right? So if you know where the north is, then you know where the south is, or east and west is, right? So but the easiest way to find a direction is to find the direction of rising sun, because the sun rises always in the east. If you know the direction from where the sun rises, then you know on your west or on your left is the west, and then north and then south, right? So that helps in finding the direction. At night, you can look at the sky and find the pole star. Now, pole star, if you locate the pole star, that means you locate the north. Then once you locate the north, you know where south is, and east, west. And the third way of finding direction is by using magnetic compass, and that will help you to find the direction. Okay. The second component is map scale. Now what is the scale of the map? Scale is basically the ratio between the distance on the map and the actual distance on the ground. Say for example, the distance of the map is or the distance on the map from point A to point B. Point A to point B, the distance on the map is 8.5 centimeter. But the actual distance is 8.5 kilometer. So the scale on the map will be 8.5, the ratio of 8.5 kilometer to 8.5 centimeter. So this gets deducted and you have 1 centimeter equals to 1 kilometer. So this is the scale that is representing distance on the map. Now there are various kinds of measuring the distance, okay, and representing it on the map. The first is called statement. So it's a very simple kind of scale. You say 1 centimeter denotes, 1 centimeter on the map denotes 10 kilometers. Okay. And second type is called linear scale. Basically, linear scale is a scale shown graphically on a map by a numbered straight line. So you have a straight line which shows the distance, and this line has division. Okay, and each division represents a distance. So this is the linear scale. The third kind of scale is called representative fraction, and representative Representative fraction is basically distance on the map divided by distance on the ground. So if you divide, in the earlier example, we had 8.5 centimeter distance on the map, 8.5 kilometers distance on the ground. So if we are to calculate representative fraction, then it will be 8.5 centimeter divided by 8.5 kilometer. This is the representative fraction. Okay. The third component of the map is called conventional signs and symbols. So signs and symbols are also very important in a map. Signs and symbols, they represent physical features, political boundaries, social and cultural features, okay, like houses, temples, public buildings, private buildings, etc. Now, when you draw a map, it's very difficult to represent the exact thing on the map, what you see on the ground, right? You can't do that, okay? It's not possible to put those features on the map using their exact size. You cannot do that, and it's also not possible for you to put all the features on the map. Okay, so then the use of symbols, signs, colors, letters become important, because when you cannot put all the features on the map, because the maps cannot be that big, right? So you use symbols for certain things. Say for example, for churches, you just use this symbol of a cross. For temple, maybe a triangular shape. So these are used to represent the buildings that you see on the ground on the map. Okay, so for example, blue color is used to represent water bodies. Green color is used to represent forest or agricultural fields. So this way, colors, symbols, letters are used, okay, to represent the features which are available on the ground on the map. Now, the signs and symbols which are used on the map, they are accepted universally. They are accepted by everybody around the globe. That is why they are known as conventional signs and symbols, okay, because they are accepted universally. Now, let's look at other aspects of a map. The first one is sketch. What is a sketch? Now, sketch is a rough drawing of an area based on memory and field observation, which is not true to scale. So, for example, you go to do a survey of a slum area. You observe the slum area and then you draw a map, a rough sketch. Okay, you say there was a canal flowing at the center of that area, and the slums were located on the banks of the canal. So on the basis of observation and your memory, not true to scale, these are not exact length or exact distances, okay, but you draw a rough sketching. This is called sketch. So these sketches are simple maps. These are simple maps and they show only some landmarks. They do not show everything. They do not represent everything of that area, but only some landmarks, and they are used to study particular feature of that area. In this example, the slum settlement. Okay, the slum. Okay. The next kind is called plan. Now, when you build a house, when you build anything, an apartment or a room, you need a plan. You need a plan before you construct a building, before you build a room. Okay, that plan will have an accurate layout showing the length and breadth of the room, of the house, position of the door, of the windows, position of the toilets, position of the balconies, the distance between the house or the room, the distance of the room, the distance of the main road and the house, the distance between the room and the drawing room, the bedroom and the drawing room, the distance between the main house and the park, etc. So these are called plan. Okay. Now, the plans, they show minor details of a small area with accuracy. So a map of an area with minor details of a small area, and that too with accuracy. Okay, accurate details of this area is called plan. Okay, now these kind of plans play an important role for construction of buildings for architectural purposes. Okay, so these are various types of maps and components of maps that we just did. Now, maps are very important for us, right? Maps are very useful for the study of geography. When we study geography, when we learn certain things from geography, we need to have map. And in order to have better understanding of the geography, we need to know how to use the map. Okay, and maps are also made in such a way that they can be used by anyone. They can be used by a layman as well, people who are not extremely educated. Even they can use it. They are made in such a way. Okay, and maps are very important to our lives, and it becomes even more important every day, because if we have to travel from one place to another, we check out the map. We ask people for direction. It's very important to know the direction. If you don't know which side is north, south, east, west, if somebody guides you, they say the post office is towards the east of the pond, east side of the pond. If you don't know which side is east, how will you know the direction of the location of the post office, right? So it is very important for us to know how to use the map and read the map.